Hello and welcome to Safety Tavern's video on straddle lift trucks, which is also known as a powered pallet jack. We're going to do a 1910 focus here. Let's get going.
Big Joe S22 walkie stackers are designed to economically transport and lift pallets or skids in the tightest area possible. The S22's compact chassis is one of the smallest in the industry, while the offset tiller features a greater than 180-degree steering arc and provides an extremely tight turning radius. This allows the S22 to operate in warehouse aisles less than 7 feet while staying out of the path of vehicle travel during operation. S22 pallet handling models utilize bolt-on straddle legs that can be adjusted from a 38-inch inside to 50-inch inside dimensions and feature dual load wheels for excellent stability. These straddle legs go around the load to be handled and allow the S22 to be much lighter weight than a traditional forklift while still being able to lift a robust 2,200 pounds. The low truck weight of the S22 translates to less wear and tear on components and very low acquisition and operating costs. The S22 comes in a variety of lift heights, ranging from the 62-inch monomast to a 2-stage mast capable of lifting up to 116 inches, with fixed forkover straddles also available on the 62-inch model for handling skids. The S22 features Big Joe's ergonomic control handle with dual controls for lift, lower, and forward and reverse travel. Safety features include a horn, a belly button reversing switch, emergency power disconnect, and a plexiglass mast guard. Inside the S22, AGM batteries and an efficient permanent magnet drive motor and pump combine to provide up to 4 hours of continuous runtime, while an onboard 120-volt smart charger makes recharging the system convenient from any standard wall outlet. Beyond just transporting and stacking loads, the S22 can also be used effectively as a mobile work positioner to reduce potential for repetitive motion injuries in the workplace. By using an optional magnetic-backed lift and lower control pendant, S22 operators can work efficiently from the front of the vehicle using the lifting system to reduce bending, lifting, and stretching required to complete a task. Whether you need one versatile truck or need to supplement an existing fleet, the S22 offers exceptional value. Why ride when you can walk? Get the job done for less with an S22 from Big Joe. You can pay more, but you won't get a better truck.
This next video comes to us from Agilent Technologies, and I've done a little bit of chopping, but overall it's a really good video.
Before using a power pallet jack, you must first become familiar with the pallet jack. Before becoming licensed to use the power pallet jack, you must first learn how to inspect the jack before use, the controls, driving characteristics, how to lift the load, and finally, parking the pallet jack after use. So let's begin. Before thinking of using a pallet jack, Agilent's policy is that all operators must be wearing steel-toed shoes. This will protect the operator from the pallet jack rolling over their foot or any other accident while using the power pallet jack.
Now I'm going to pause the video right here. This company has their own process for doing daily inspections of these powered pallet jacks. What I'm going to tell you to do is talk to your company and see if they have a proper inspection form or criteria. Worst case scenario is look at the equipment manual and they should show you exactly what they want you to inspect. There should be something in the equipment manual. If you don't have your equipment manual, you should be able to look it up online. As an example, the Big Joe that I'm dealing with right now, look right here, check for signs of leakage, check for cracks, look at the forks, look at the chains, look at the guards, look at all of these items prior to operation every single time you come to the piece of equipment. Now, if your company says they only want it inspected once daily, good to go. But for me, I tell my operators, every time you leave that vehicle and you come back to it, do another check. Because the worst thing you're going to do is waste a little bit of time, but the best thing you're going to do is prevent catastrophic failure. It's worth that time to do another check. Formally speaking, OSHA says at the beginning of each shift, it should be inspected. But again, are we going to let the government tell us how to do anything? Are you going to let the government tell you how to raise your kids? Are you going to let the government tell you how you can have firearms? No, we're going to do it better than what the government says, right? Because this is America, right?
To use a power pallet jack, it is very important to know the controls. The controls is where you can lift, lower, honk the horn, and change the speed of the jack. To begin using the power pallet jack, the key must be inserted into the keyhole and turned on. The flashing light will turn on, indicating the pallet jack is on. Also, the battery charge meter will indicate the charge on the battery. Now that the power pallet jack has been turned on, let's go over the controls that will be used. First is the horn. This will sound the horn, alerting anyone within earshot that you are approaching with the pallet jack. To lift the pallet or lift the forks on the pallet jack, the lift button is pressed. This will raise the forks up to allow you to move the desired load. Once the pallet jack has been lifted, you must use the drop button to lower the forks back down. This button will lower the forks back down to the desired height. To move the pallet jack, you must use the twist control. Twisting the control in the desired direction of travel will move the pallet jack in that direction. The more you twist in one direction, the faster the pallet jack will go. The less you twist, the slower it will go. To allow the jack to move, you must grab the handle and tilt it towards you. If the handle is in the resting position, it will not move. Also, if the handle is tilted too far, the jack will not move. The handle also is the steering of the pallet jack. To steer the pallet jack in the desired direction, just move the handle towards that direction. The belly switch prevents you from being pinned in between the power pallet jack and the wall. If the belly switch is hit in any way, the pallet jack will immediately stop and travel in the opposite direction. This is crucial while operating in tight areas. While operating a powered pallet jack, it is very important to stay alert of your surroundings. Staying clear of scraping walls or running into objects is very important. Also, when using a powered pallet jack, in the hallways all pedestrians have the right of way. When approaching intersections, look first before entering them because pedestrians always have the right of way. When driving the powered pallet jack, you must drive it forward. This is with the pallet jack's forks behind you and one hand on the controls walking forward. You must stay looking forward in order to see what is ahead of you. When lifting a skid with the power pallet jack, the pallet must first be on level ground. Always back into the skid with the forks in front of you. When entering the skid, make sure the wheels on the forks clear the bottom of the skid. Otherwise, this will split the skid and make it unusable. Once entering the skid and the wheels are clear of the bottom of the skid, push the lift button until the skid comes off the ground. The skid will no longer be on the ground and is safe to travel. Once done traveling with the load, find an open space to drop the skid. First, inspect the area to make sure there is adequate space for the skid or load to fit into. Once you have verified there is enough space, back the pallet jack carrying the load into the area. Once in the area, push the drop button, completely lowering the load to the ground. Before pulling the pallet jack out of the skid, make sure the jack is completely lowered so you do not continue carrying the load. When traveling down a tight hallway, always back down it with the forks in front. This will allow you to see what is in front of you, as well as keeping sight of the load. Also, you will be able to drop the load and pull out back down the hallway, therefore not forcing you to turn the pallet jack around in a small area. The ramp outside of Agilent's loading dock allows different vehicles to enter and exit the building with ease. When traveling down and up the ramp, always keep the load downhill. Keeping the load downhill prevents the load from slipping off the forks. Sometimes when driving a pallet jack, it can get out of control. If for any reason the power pallet jack gets out of control, drop the handle. This will stop the pallet jack immediately. If for any reason you leave the pallet jack unattended, you must remove your key if the pallet jack becomes out of sight or if you walk more than 25 feet away from it. After using the power pallet jack, park it in the designated area. Make sure that the forks are completely lowered and the pallet jack comes to a complete stop before letting go of the handle. After done, make sure you remove the key, turning the power pallet jack off. This prevents anyone who is unauthorized to use the pallet jack from doing so.
And now we get into everybody's favorite section, the OSHA regulations. 1910-178 Alpha 1, I'm not going to read all this, but this is qualifying, saying that these specialized industrial trucks powered by electric motors, this is saying that all of the regulations I'm going to read below do actually apply to powered pallet jacks. They're considered industrial trucks. 1910-178 Alpha 4, do not modify anything that could compromise the capacity and safe operation without manufacturer's prior written approval. Don't change anything on this thing. 1910-178 Alpha 5 is talking about the front end attachment. So what this is talking about is whenever you either A, have different things that attach to the front, or B, you have those extension forks. If this happens, it will change your weight capacity as well as how heavy the truck is. And these things are the company's responsibility to make sure they're posted. 1910-178 Gulf 8, trucks shall be properly positioned and brake applied before attempting to change or charge batteries. 1910-178 Gulf 10, smoking shall be prohibited in the charging area. 1910-178 L1I, the employer shall ensure that each powered industrial truck operator is competent to operate a powered industrial truck safely, as demonstrated by the successful completion of the training and evaluation specified in paragraph L. 178 L12, prior to permitting an employee to operate a powered industrial truck, except for training purposes, the employer shall ensure that each operator has successfully completed the training required by this paragraph. And now we're about to get into a list. Trainees may operate a powered industrial truck only under direct supervision of persons who have knowledge, training, and experience to train operators and evaluate their competence, and where such operation does not endanger the trainee or other employees. Training shall consist of a combination of formal instruction, practice training, and evaluation of the operator's performance in the workplace. All operator training and evaluation shall be conducted by persons who have knowledge, training, and experience to train powered industrial truck operators and evaluate their competence. 178 L3, powered industrial truck operators shall receive initial training in the following topics, except in topics which the employer can demonstrate are not applicable to safe operation of the truck in the employee's workspace. Training related topics. This means this is everything that must be trained on. Operating instructions, warnings, and precautions for the types of trucks the operator will be authorized to operate. Differences between this powered truck and an automobile. Truck controls and instrumentation, where they located, what they do, and how they work. Engine or motor operation, steering and maneuvering. Visibility, including restrictions due to load. Fork and attachment, adaptation, operation and use limitations. Vehicle capacity, vehicle stability. Any vehicle inspection and maintenance that the operator will be required to perform. Refueling and or charging and recharging of the batteries. Operating limitation. Any other operating instructions, warnings, or precautions listed in the operator's manual for the type of vehicle that the employee is being trained to operate. Workplace related topics, surface conditions where the vehicle will be operated, composition of loads to be carried and load stability, load manipulation, stacking and unstacking, pedestrian traffic in areas where the vehicle will be operated, narrow aisles and other restricted places where the vehicle will be operated, hazardous classified locations where the vehicle will be operated, ramps and other slope surfaces that could affect the vehicle's stability, closed environments and other areas where insufficient ventilation or poor vehicle maintenance could cause a buildup of carbon monoxide or diesel exhaust, and finally, other unique or potentially hazardous environment conditions in the workplace that could affect safe operation. You need to train your person on how to do everything with this vehicle other than repair it. 1910-178 L4, refresher training and evaluation. Refresher training, including an evaluation of the effectiveness of that training, shall be conducted as required by paragraph L4-2 to ensure that the operator has knowledge and skills needed to operate the powered industrial truck safely. Refresher training in relevant topics shall be provided to the operator when the operator has been observed to operate the vehicle in an unsafe manner, the operator has been involved in an accident or near-miss incident, the operator receives an evaluation that reveals that the operator is not operating the truck safely, the operator is assigned to drive a different type of truck, or a condition in the workplace changes in a manner that could affect safe operation of the truck. An evaluation of each powered industrial truck operator's performance shall be conducted at least once every 3 years. 1910-178 L6, certification. The employer shall certify that each operator has been trained and evaluated as required by paragraph L. Certification shall include the name of the operator, the date of the training, the date of the evaluation, and the identity of the person performing the training or evaluation. 178 M52, a powered industrial truck is unattended when the operator is 25 feet or more away from the vehicle, which remains in his view, or whenever the operator leaves the vehicle and it is not in his view. Do not leave this vehicle unattended while it's running. Pretty simple. 178 M14, fire aisles, access to stairways, and fire equipment shall be kept clear. N8, under all traffic conditions, the truck shall be operated at a speed that will permit it to be brought to a stop in a safe manner. N9, stunt driving and horseplay shall not be permitted. N14, running over loose objects on the roadway surface shall be avoided. O1, only stable or safely arranged loads shall be handled. Caution shall be exercised when handling off-center loads which cannot be centered. O2, only loads within the rated capacity of the truck shall be handled. O3, the long or high, including multiple tiered loads which may affect capacity shall be adjusted. And P1, if at any time a powered industrial truck is found to be in need of repair, defective, or in any way unsafe, the truck shall be taken out of service until it has been restored to safe operating condition. Now we're going to take a look at some absolute failures. Here we go. Every one of these videos, you're going to have a moment where they cross the stupid threshold. And that is when an operator takes their brain and chunks it right out the window and does something stupid. They compromise safety, they compromise policy, and they do something that results in failure. Why are you standing here? Why is this aisleway blocked? And what is he trying to do? This is going to end bad right here. Stupid threshold, anybody? Why are these stacks so close to here? Why is he carrying that large of a material in that little access way? And do you really think he's not going to hit right here? Come on now. We've jumped right past stupid threshold into incompetency. This is incompetent. First, none of those materials up there are secured. And what makes it even worse is look here and look there. You can see it was secured at one time, but these intelligent human beings cut it all open. Second, the first thing you do, you don't come picking up, you need to angle back. He is not angling back, thus we're definitely going to have an issue. Third, why is this guy standing here? Get him away. There's no need to be picking up stuff like this with somebody right here that can get hurt. But safety Tavern, he's got steel toe boots on. Great, that'll protect his toes. What about the top of the foot? What about the ankle? What about anything else that could get hurt if a package falls down and lands exactly right there on his foot? How many people do you want to have broken ankles? Because that's how many people you should have standing around while you're jacking around with loose load. This is absolutely incompetency. This one takes a little while for it to actually progress, but you can already see this dude is zipping around way too fast, and just look, you can see he's not looking at where he's going. You must look at where you're going. If you can't see around the load, turn around and go backward. Anybody want to guess what's about to happen? That's right. Are you freaking kidding me? You have warped into the stupid zone. Why are you standing there? Are y'all even qualified? Those are some real cute shoes, but I doubt they're the appropriate apparel for material handling. Are you angling down or are you angling back? And why are you offloading this on an incline? Are the forks long enough to actually pick this piece of equipment up? Everything about this is stupid. Just stupid. Oh goody, another Darwin Award winner. We're traveling forward and we cannot see what we're driving into, and we're about to turn a blind corner. Bring the forks down. We never travel and we cannot see. If this situation is happening, go backwards. But here's the worst part. You're overloading a forklift. It is not designed to be driven elevated that tall with that much weight on it, and none of the materials are actually secured. They're just placed on it. Let's see what's going to happen to these award winners. Really? You can't tell this dude to move his car? Are you kidding me? Get that out of here. Oh goody, now we have 2 people watching. That's good. Operating a powered industrial lift like a powered pallet jack is not difficult, but it does take you to use your brain to focus on what you're doing, clear out the area, go slow, and if somebody won't get out of your way, just stop what you're doing. Pretty simple. I hope this video finds you well. Remember, talk to the competent person for your job site, for your company that's in charge of you if you have any questions about anything you've seen on this video. Have a great day and be blessed.